Congressman Adam Smith, the Democrat from Bellevue, made a stunningly irresponsible and shockingly ignorant claim while he was doing an interview on our sister station, KIRO Newsradio, on Seattle's Morning News. He was talking about this current U.S. government, this one right now that exists now, although his statement would have never made sense when talking about any administration, period. But they were getting into the budget, which Adam Smith is intentionally mischaracterizing. All Democrats at this point are intentionally miscategorizing this entire issue leading to the government shutdown. But listen to the way he talks about not just the budget, but this government.
Democrats are not going to vote for a pure Donald Trump Republican budget because he's put together the most extreme partisan budget that I've ever seen. You know, massive cuts to healthcare, massive cuts to food security, massive increases to ICE and the Department of Defense, massive tax cuts for the wealthy that's going to drive millions of people off of health insurance and drive up the cost of healthcare. And also he's driving up the cost of energy by canceling programs, energy programs, clean energy programs all across the country, and basically saying, I will cut programs from Democratic states and fund Republican states, and you Democrats have to vote for it.
Okay, so that's the traditional talking point nonsense coming from Democrats. And you can say, okay, well, we got the hyperbole, man. But okay, that's at least what we hear normally, right? There was nothing shocking in that clip. There was nothing new or earth-shattering. Then he goes into another one of their favorite talking points on the left.
I mean, Trump is attempting an authoritarian takeover of our government. I mean, it's just unbelievable that you would have the government, our government, engaging in such partisan activity.
I am shocked by how partisan this particular government, not the last one, of course. They were not partisan at all. It was actually, sometimes it was hard to figure out whether or not Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were even Democrats. Now, in fairness, did Joe Biden realize he was president at the time? No, but that's okay. I hurt my own case.
The president basically is governing like he is a dictator, not like he is a democratically elected president of a constitutional republic.
Except he is a democratically elected president. And it's you guys who are shutting the government down in order to stop the agenda of the democratically elected president, who wasn't just the winner by a handful of votes, or a president who was given this position because of a Supreme Court decision. He won in a huge way at a time in which he was demonized by 95% of the media. He won, remind me, every single one of the swing states?
Correct.
He crushed it, in fact, with maybe two. It was a little bit close, but it's good. I mean, usually when you win the popular vote and the Electoral College vote, and on top of that, to get there, you won every single swing state, it's usually sending a message.
First Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years.
Just saying. Okay, so again, have we heard anything we haven't heard yet?
It's pretty boilerplate.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. And I don't even get mad at Adam Smith for the lazy talking points because this is what they all have to do. But then he said this.
And I didn't even get into what Trump is doing with the government, using the Justice Department to specifically target his adversaries.
By the way, and they're going to stick to that, man. Have a little self-respect. Guys, have just a little bit of self-respect. At least add in the caveat of, and I understand that the perception was Biden did it to him. I get it. But this doesn't make it right. At least do that. Ruth Marcus, I think in the New York Times, Ruth Marcus, she had a column out essentially saying that it's wrong for Trump to go after Letitia James, even though Letitia James went after him. We just got to stop the cycle. She didn't say that at the time when Letitia James went after President Trump or then candidate Trump. She didn't say anything then, but now she's saying something. Same thing with Comey.
Using agencies like the FCC to try and silence people in the media who...
This did not happen. An FCC commissioner said something, but the FCC was not used to silence anything.
Dare criticize him? Using, again, the Justice...
And just, again, real quickly, he knows that Jimmy Kimmel wasn't criticizing Trump, right? Like like he knows we know that. But okay, sorry, I keep getting in the way.
Justice Department to shut down law firms and universities that say anything critical of him or advance. This is the most partisan, extreme budget and extreme government in the world. And Mike Johnson and Donald Trump are saying, doesn't matter. You have to vote for it.
This is the most extreme government in the world. Sir, have you visited the world? Are you familiar with any of this? Isn't he the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, I guess he'd be the ranking member.
Ranking member, yes. He doesn't have any knowledge of the situations around the world? Making these sweeping claims unsupported by evidence? Depicting us as an autocracy on par with regimes that imprison journalists or suppress elections or eliminate opposition parties. Now, coincidentally, the countries Democrats openly support and chill for are Cuba, Venezuela, China. Kind of sounds like they're pretty extreme. Maybe Adam Smith was complimenting Trump, given Democrats support for Cuba, Venezuela, and China. This is the guy from a party that tried to put the president in jail in order to prevent him from running for office. I mean, we were literally having conversations at some point about whether or not he could run from prison and win. Like that was an actual conversation that people were having. This is insane. That is an insane position for him to take. Where most Americans see, sure, a divided Congress, struggling over spending priorities, struggling over particulars of a budget. He sees this darkness, this authoritarian takeover, or at least he pretends to see that. Rhetoric that paints disagreement as a dictatorship. Some sort of alarming move from a president. What's alarming is the escalation in rhetoric from people like Adam Smith. And it's commentary like that he's engaged in, knowing that that's the exact kind of commentary that's led to left-wing violence, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk, including 2 assassination attempts of Donald Trump. He was shot. This is an uninformed narrative that will fuel more so polarization, not reduce it. And yet he claims, and other Democrats claim, we gotta lower the temperature. Too much polarization, too much demonization. We got to stop. We can disagree without being disagreeable. Rhetoric can cause, words are violence, they tell us. And yet this is the kind of stuff they put out there. Look, you can disagree with the Trump agenda. You can disagree with the budget. You can disagree with anything. But making outlandish and subjectively or objectively false claims about the government's extremism, like these are not mutually exclusive. But in order to do that, in order to make both of those points, say I disagree without calling someone authoritarian or claiming that we have the most extreme government in the world, to do that, you'd have to be operating in good faith. And Adam Smith here isn't operating in good faith. When you've got a top Democrat saying the U.S. government is, quote, one of the most extreme in the world, that is dangerous propaganda, and it should be called out. And I hope you'll join me in calling it out, because I've got an article on this available right now at seattlered.com. seattlered.com. Go there now, click the story, share the story. We got to get more eyeballs on these things. These are the kinds of statements that are made that create the cultural rot that we're all living through. And unless we're willing to call it out, it's just going to continue.